She is too. And she knows a lot of people walking. All right. So I've said her a lot. And I have so. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm glad you're coming back.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Before we officially call the meeting to order this evening, we're going to do a public swearing in of our re-elected board members. So if we could have Mr. Abel and Mr. Hanson come to the center of the ring here.
I'll list for the rest of the evening.
So did you get the same identical number of votes, both of you?
Yeah.
No?
2.
They didn't vote for each other though. They didn't vote for each other, yeah.
I, say your name,
I, Paul Biff Hansen,
have been elected to the office of Manitowoc Public School District Board of
have
Education,
been elected to the office of Manitowoc Public School District Board of Education,
and I will support the Constitution of the United States,
and I will support the Constitution of the United States,
the state of Wisconsin,
the state of Wisconsin,
and I will faithfully discharge the duties
and I will faithfully discharge the duties
of the said office to the best of my ability, so help me God.
to the said office to the best of my ability, so help me God.
Thank you.
Cool.
Mr. Abel,
Yes, ma'am.
state your name.
I, Christopher Abel,
Have been elected to the office of Manitowoc Public School District Board of Education member,
have been elected to the office of Manitowoc Public School District Board of Education member. That's the one.
That's the hard
and will support the Constitution of the United States
And will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the state of Wisconsin,
and the Constitution of the state of Wisconsin.
and I will faithfully discharge the duties
Faithfully discharge the duties
of said office to the best of my ability,
of said office to the best of my ability.
so help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations, dude. You too.
Thank you, Mrs. Brown, and Mr. Abel and Mr. Hanson for their service.
Those numbers.
So officially, and I really want to do this, so I just gotta call the meeting to order. I get to just do that once.
Annual little flourish.
And the first item on the agenda is the election of board officers, of which we start with the election of the board president. So at this time, I would open nominations for the office of president.
I'd like to nominate Biff Hansen.
We have a nomination for Mr. Hanson from Mr. Trask, seconded by Mr. Shaw. Are there other nominations for the office of president? Any other nominations for the office of president? Seeing
It's
none,
going to be a close.
I would entertain a motion to cast the unanimous ballot for Mr. Hanson to serve as the president.
So moved.
So, moved by Mr. Bowman, seconded by Ms. Lofi Blahnik,
Mary?
and all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. President Hanson, it's all yours.
That's it for you.
Well, he's moving it now. He doesn't want to.
Thank you for the confidence.
Yeah.
Appreciate it. And as I've said at a few meetings, I do appreciate the work that we've done and how things are going. So I do appreciate that. Okay. We need the board vice president clerk. Nominations are now open for the office of vice president clerk. Chris.
I would nominate Ms. Lofi Blahnik. Second.
We have a nomination for Mary Lofty Blahnik and a second from Keith. Are there any other nominations? Any other nominations? For a third time, any other nominations? Hearing seen none, I would ask for a unanimous Motion for unanimous from the board.
I
Chris,
move for unanimous ballot.
Second?
second by Keith, with the motion from Chris. All those in favor say aye. Opposed, say nay. And congratulations, Mary.
Thank you, everyone. Does that mean I get that seat then?
Right here.
You can pick your second. I think it's a big one. He said first.
Okay, at this time, nominations for the office of treasurer. Do I have a motion for nomination, office of
I
treasurer?
nominate David Bowman.
David Bowman for treasurer. Do I have a second for Mr. Bowman?
No, I'll second that.
I have a second for Mr. Bowman. Any other nominations at this time for the office of treasurer? Any other nominations for the office of treasurer? One more time, other nominations. Hearing seen none. All those in favor say aye. Oh, I look for a unanimous consent from the board.
Motion for
I have a
unanimous
motion
consent.
for unanimous from Keith. I have a second on that.
Second.
Second from Chris. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say nay. And congratulations, Mr. Bowman, you are the treasurer. Okay. Board secretary appointments. And I'm assuming we would nominate the same person who's done a great job.
Unless we're idiots.
Do I have a motion for the board secretary nomination for that? We have one from Ann.
Second.
A second by Mary. And any other?
Just to be clear, we are nominating Mrs. Brown, correct?
Yes.
I just wanted to make sure.
She who must not be there.
Yeah.
Unanimous consent. Do I have a motion for that for Lori? So moved. David, with Chris with the
Second with gratitude.
Any other discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
And congratulations, Lori. Deputy Treasurer, Deputy Clerk.
Who's that? Signs bit.
This is a non-board member. It has been Nathan Milkey.
Oh,
So
I so move.
I second.
we have a second. Motion by Keith, second by Ann. Can I get a motion for unanimous consent on that?
So moved.
Second, Chris, with David with the second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say nay. And congratulations, Nate.
It's the most powerful position.
We have board representatives, the CISA 7 representative. I have done that the last 2 years. If you want me to continue, I'll do that.
Yes, please.
I nominate for president Mr. Hanson.
Actually, kind of, thank you. It's kind of a fun gig. You meet people from other boards and parts of stuff. Unanimous consent motion?
Yep.
Carrie,
Yes.
second from David. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say nay. Okay, here's the deal on committee assignments.
We need a-
WASB. I'm sorry, we can't forget WASB.
Yeah, I've done that for maybe 4, 5.
Do we have a nomination on a
Does
WASB?
anybody want to do that?
I think you should get one final year back.
Okay, we have a motion by Mary
'cause I'm not
for
gonna-
another year with a second by Ann for another year. Any other candidates? Anybody else?
I mean, maybe.
Anybody would like to do this unanimous consent?
So moved.
David, Chris with the second. Unanimous, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say nay. We move on to committees. My thoughts on committees,
We need an alternate also.
we do for WASB? Okay, we need an alternate. Did we have one last year? Who was it last year?
No.
David Bowman was last
I
year.
was an alternate
Yeah.
last year.
Would you?
I just was unable to go because I had these commitments.
What is that?
It's an alternate.
Oh, yeah, that's,
I nominate Mary Lofty Blonick for the alternate.
yeah, you went this year, didn't you?
Okay.
We have a motion for Mary Lofty Blonick. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by David. Any other nominations?
I'm just gonna amend the Lofi Blonick.
Oh, I'm sorry. Everybody always says lofty.
People like to add it to.
What? You have lofty goals.
I have low fees.
Liking that. Unanimous consent?
Move.
Second?
Second.
David's with the second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All right, that's all of that. Committee assignments. I'm going to ask your pleasure. We could keep them exactly the same, could tweak them. There have been some ideas on that. If people would like to stay the same, we have a week off except for finance is the committee that has to meet this upcoming week. The other two really do not have anything. So we could just approve them as, and I know we could come back and change them if we want to, but, you know, do we want to go through the?
We could change.
Just as a point of order,
Yeah.
what we think doesn't even matter, that is the power of the president to appoint the committees and the chairs. I appreciate you asking us, but to be clear, you do not need our vote on that. You may appoint at your pleasure.
All right.
That's always worked.
It's your job, Pres.
In other words, it's your problem.
So then as of
In the
today,
modern age. it's
as of
worked.
today, I will leave the committees as they are. And then if we need to tweak as the year goes on and something happens or people decide they can no longer meet at that time or something comes up, we'll handle it that. But if you have a big concern about that, please let me know. But as of tonight, I will move that we leave the committees exactly as they are. And that's just my say so. Do I?
Just a point of information. As long as we're discussing committees, and then since it's sort of a reset, is the group okay with how we do them now in terms of the first Tuesday that times it out before the board in terms of the times? Are we good with sort of keeping that?
I appreciate the back to back to back. Yes.
Yeah. Okay, great. I think it works well for
You know,
us.
I really think the committees have worked really well. As a matter of fact, having been on this board when we didn't have committees, it's been really very professional, I think.
I would agree with that. I appreciate the knowledge that people on the board have financially and HR wise and curriculum wise and the years of educational experience. I think it's a good mix. So that's what my decision will be since I get to do it. We'll do that. And that would complete our organizational. So I would look for a motion to adjourn so we can get.
So moved.
I have a motion. Do I have a second to adjourn? And with the second, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed say nay. We are adjourned,
But
but don't move. At this time, I will call the special board meeting on April 22nd to order. And ask Lori to do the roll call.
Chris Abel,
Verily.
David Bowman,
I'm here.
Yeah, how's your experience?
Biff
I'm
Hansen,
here.
Biff Hansen,
Here, I'm sorry.
Ann Holzen,
Here.
Mary Wolfie Blonick,
Present.
Keith Shaw,
Here.
Carrie Trask.
Here.
Everybody present. Our first order of business, only open order of business issue would be the Madison School property offered to purchase. And Lee, I'll let you talk to that first and.
Sure. The Manitowoc Common Council Committee of the Whole voted affirmatively 9-0 on Monday, April 20th, to forward an offer to the Manitowoc Public School District for the purchase of the Madison School property for $1. We are garnered by our policy for selling real property on a process. That process begins with acceptance in terms of just receiving by the Board of Education. The policy then calls for a referral to the Finance and Facilities Committee, where that committee is asked to review said offer and make a recommendation back to the Board of Education.
Take action.
Okay. So we have the offer from the city. we really probably need to vet it out in committee. That would give people an opportunity to, if they wanted to, the public to go to the committee meeting, but also give them an opportunity to speak at our board meeting. I think the information we were sent today that the attorney looked over, and thank you, Ann, for picking out some things, that gives us more information. I do not feel ready to say, yes, let's just go ahead, charge ahead. We have to have the committee, I think, vet it, and that committee has done a good job doing those things. So there's a lot of questions. One of the things I believe as a board we probably should look into doing is getting more information out so it clears up doubts within the public. There's still a lot of questions. And, you know, make sure people understand that it's their tax money that the school board and the city of Manitowoc are using, but most of that is the same people would be getting taxed, whichever happens, because the majority of people in our district live in the city. So we have to do this in a way that people, you know, if we charge the city $1 million and they bought it, that they'd be taxing people that already own something that they're getting, and that doesn't make sense. So let's let finance and facilities work this out and answer some of those questions and get more word out to the public on how this is happening. So it's a good deal, not just for the school board, but for the taxpayers of the district. Mary. Oh, Keith?
I do agree with your statement that I think that there's still a lot of questions from the public as well as board members on the actual transaction, sale of this property or the giving this property. I think there's still a lot of questions and a lot of unanswered questions by people of what this all would entail and what this would look like. So I do think that time is of the essence, and I think that we need to strategically be able to say that we've answered the city's concerns and questions to the best of our ability before we make this decision. I think that's very important. So at this point in time, I will move to refer to the City of Manitowoc's offer to purchase the Madison School property to the Finance and Facilities Committee for the review and recommendation pursuant to Board Policy 7,300.
I have a motion. Do I have a second? Move it to committee.
Oh, I'll second. Yeah.
We have a motion and a second, and all this again is doing is moving it to the committee for discussion. It's not saying we're taking the city's offer completely. Yes.
It seems from our community that there was a misunderstanding that we were voting on that tonight. So I appreciate the clarification.
Correct.
And I'm wondering, Lee, if you could clarify that timeline, at least the proposed, and obviously we could slow that down.
Yeah, we can do
needed
it.
to, but if you could share that timeline.
So the committee meets on Tuesday, May 5th to review. My hope would be that any questions that you're receiving from folks or that you have, you could forward to my team and myself. So we can make sure we get everybody's questions answered as quickly as possible. And we can certainly be prepared to do that at the committee meeting on May 5th. We've gotten a couple questions on our end here too. I've spoken to a couple of groups. I was at the was invited to talk with the retired educators of Manitowoc yesterday, and there's about 20 people. So they had some questions. We were able to talk some things through there. So I think the dialogue is very helpful in people's understanding. So that would be where the committee would review. At that meeting, the committee would decide if they were ready to make a recommendation. If so, they would make the recommendation to the full board at that time.
And then the following full board meeting, potentially a vote then.
May 12th. It's the pleasure of the board. Our policy doesn't specifically say a timeline for when we receive versus take action. The policy just clearly lines out the process, which is the committee and then the recommendation back to the board. And then it's the pleasure of the board when they're ready to take action.
I think that clarifies what we're about to vote on, so I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Chris.
Yeah, well, I am quite concerned that public understanding of what we're doing and how it's going to go forward is vague, and there are a lot of people who want to be heard. I understand none of them are here tonight, but that's because there's no public input tonight. And that concern causes me to make the following motion, which would assure that there would be 2 public inputs before the board voted on it, which is why I would now move to table the motion until our regular board meeting at the beginning of May.
That nullify dates in the offer.
It would table this motion, my motion, it would table it.
It would also nullify dates
Prior
in the
dates.
offer to purchase.
Yeah, the offer to purchase was specifically written in for what, May
15th, I believe.
15, I think?
Yeah.
Their offer's good until May 15th.
Till May 15th.
Correct.
That's correct.
Yeah, I understand that.
We have a motion. Do we have a second on that?
To,
To table.
Point of
Yeah.
information, if the board feels like it would be a good idea and they're interested in input, I would be happy to arrange a specific forum for educating people about, kind of the why, what, and how of things, plus answer anyone's questions. I could do 1 or 2 of those within the next week, if that was something people wanted me to do.
I haven't taken many calls or emails, but it's the same questions.
Right.
And it seems like in the past you've offered an FAQ,
Yeah,
so then the answers are there and you're not
Yeah.
repeating as much. And then it's helpful as a board member to reference them. Oh, there's an FAQ on the website if you want to check out. And if there's still questions, I can help get answers.
Could that be done with the committee meeting?
well, are you asking me or are you?
I'm asking you, because that would be an opportunity to have another, you have a last meeting of the 3, right?
Input at that time.
I don't think the committee meetings are designed to have a question and answer session. I don't think that would be, I think coming to the committee with that would be offsetting to what the first meeting in May would be to have the public input. Coming to the committee where there's no cross dialogue and in public input, I don't see is facilitating the
So you-
motion that Chris is having.
So you could do the question and answer
Well, it could be
after
done
your meeting,
anytime. Yeah.
right? So they could hear the proposal then after Chris.
Yeah, I don't want to be a jerk, but a motion to table is non-debatable, and this is a lot of discussion for a non-debatable motion, which is looking for a second. If you don't second it, then the motion dies and you can talk all you want. Procedural, just so everybody knows.
So is there a second to the
I'll
motion?
second it for dialogue conversation.
You can't, because, I mean, you can second
Yeah.
it, but there can't be conversation. We either voted up or we
Oh,
voted
okay.
down.
Okay. So, all those in favor of tabling, say aye. Opposed, say nay.
Nay.
Comes back to the original motion.
Second, as a gesture of goodwill. That's normally the way things are done.
So we go back to the original motion. Any other discussion on that? I believe it would be helpful maybe after peace meeting to have a session like that for the public, so they can have input. They would also get input at the board meeting before, and if the public input at that board meeting makes us want to table it or slow it down, we can do that at that time if we get that.
so point of clarification,
Yes.
just so that I make sure I have the right marching orders here. We have an FAQ created. We'll get that out, send it out. And then post Keith's Finance and Facilities Committee meeting on the 5th, immediately following, we will roll into information/forum/questions
Right.
and
Prior to
opinions.
that meeting, prior to the May 12th.
Yeah, we'll hold it immediately following your committee.
Committee meeting.
Same day.
Community.
Yeah,
Okay.
we'll just do it
And then
right after.
There's public input on the board meeting,
Okay,
right?
got it.
The other 2 meetings already.
All right. So that being said, any more discussion on this to send it to the Facilities and Finance Committee?
And if we have some FAQ right now, we should shoot those to you.
Yes, please, if you're getting questions, for sure.
One of my most common was the cost to leave Madison sit.
Yep.
So, you're still heating and water. And Mr. Milky was able to produce that number for me.
Yep.
And then the cost to demo,
Yep.
and then the other is why just $1.
Yep.
So I think that question is pretty common.
All right, any other questions? All those in favor of moving the offer to the Facility and Finance Committee, say aye. Opposed, say nay.
Nay.
And seeing that, that concludes our open session information. So I would look for a motion to go into closed session. As of Wisconsin statutes 1985 1C and 118.22 for discussion, deliberation regarding employment, promotion, compensation, performance evaluation of public employees. And I will look for a roll call vote
Christopher
after
Abel,
we get the motion by David and a second by Ann, and a roll call vote from Lori. Thank you.
Christopher Abel,
I
David Bowman,
Aye.
Biff Hansen,
Aye.
Ann Holson, Mary Lofi Blanik,
I
Keith Shaw,
Aye.
Carrie Trask.
Aye.
We are now in closed session.
Perfect timing.
Sorry, here. We're good?
Okay.
We're back on the air. We're back in open session. We have a motion to approve the issuance of final non-renewal notices to professional staff pursuant to section 1985 1C and 11822 of the Wisconsin statutes for budgetary reasons and consistent with the administration's recommendations and appropriate board policies. So again, we are approving the non-renewals for this year based on teaching need in the district. If we could get a motion to approve that in a second.
So moved.
I have a motion by David. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Mary. Any discussion on that? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say nay.
Nay.
And the motion passes. There's nothing else on our agenda, so I would move for a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
I have a motion by Chris, a second by Ann. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And we are adjourned. Now, some of us have to sign something.
Corey has it.
Yeah.